The Curse, 1987. From the darkest part of the heavens, terror has arrived. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Terry Cooper and this is Marvelous Videos. Before H.P. Lovecraft movies became a thriving industry, not everybody who adapted his work respected him. The very first movie based on one of his stories, The Case of Charles Dexter Ward, The Haunted Palace, 1963, granted Edgar Allan Poe the rights of ownership credit. And 1987's The Curse, the second film based on The Color Out of Space after 1965's Die Monster Die and the first Lovecraft movie after Stuart Gordon's From Beyond in 1986, doesn't really recognize the source material at all. David Keith, who was in 1987's Firestarter as well as 1982's An Officer and a Gentleman, was actually an actor who directed The Curse as the first in a 3-picture agreement with Transworld Entertainment. When Keith joined the project, the location was changed from California to a location near Tellico Plains, Tennessee, where he owned a property similar to the one held by religious zealot Nathan Crane in the film. Nathan rules over his family, which includes his wife Frances and their burly, presumably mentally challenged son Cyrus. Wil Wheaton, who is misspelled Will with a double L in the opening credits and was riding high on the popularity of Star Trek The Next Generation, is top billed in the picture and has his image on the poster. He even enlisted his younger sister Amy Wheaton to mark her debut appearance as his on-screen sister Alice. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Now, let's begin. No one believed him. Now, no one's left to save him. The Curse, 1987. This movie starts with the story of an oddball family. Zach, a teen, resides on a farmstead in Tellico Plains, Tennessee, along with his mother Frances, his younger sister Alice, his harsh and devout elderly stepfather Nathan Crane, and annoying, dim-witted stepbrother Cyrus. Frances slips out of the home one night when Nathan is sleeping and starts having sex with Mike, a farmhand who stays in a neighboring shanty. Suddenly, a big meteorite lands on the property, generating an unearthly light. Look out for a mistake. The metal rod connecting to the meteorite can be seen on the left as it strikes the earth. The next day, Alan Forbes, a neighborhood physician, visits the crash site to examine the meteorite, which is a big sphere with an outer layer from which a mysterious liquid seeps. Despite many movies with similar names, the three successors have little to do with the original film or one another. To piggyback on the original's cult fame, all sequels borrowed the Curse name. The substance quickly dissolves into a luminous, gelatinous liquid that seeps into the earth. Forbes wants to call the authorities, but is discouraged by Charlie Davidson, who is a local realtor and Chamber of Commerce president, who fears that the occurrence may deter the Tennessee Valley Authority, also known as the TVA, from constructing a new reservoir in the region. Forbes' unhappy wife Esther similarly tries to manipulate her husband into staying silent, fearful that their home would lose value. The mystery liquid quickly begins to have an impact on the farm. The water in the well becomes murky and unpleasant to drink. The fruit and vegetables expand in size but are decayed and inedible on the inside, and the cattle begin to behave aggressively and exhibit serious signs of infection. Infected birds attack and wound Alice, and a horse almost kills Cyrus. Frances begins to develop enormous boils on her face which quickly and grotesquely distort her appearance. She becomes emotionally disturbed, causing herself bodily pain and hurting her own family. Nathan believes that the blight on the farm is God's retribution for his wife's adultery, so he confines her inside their bedroom and refuses to let Zach contact the doctor. Zach keeps himself and Alice healthy by drinking clean water and eating the food he stole from Forbes' residence. According to producer Ovidio Asanitis, this film was inspired by the socio-economic crises of farmers in the United States of America during the term of the Ronald Reagan government in the 1980s. Forbes steals a small specimen of the Crane's water from their well and gets it tested at a local lab. The water is discovered to have a peculiar unknown ingredient that alters its metabolic capabilities and molecular structure. Carl Willis, who is a TVA official inspecting the region for the proposed reservoir, visits the Crane's home searching for a drink of water. He helps himself to water from the kitchen tap and has barely begun drinking when he is assaulted and nearly murdered by Francis, who has now gone wild and is hideously mutating. Concerned that Forbes may inform the officials, Davidson and Esther come to the Crane farm in search of the doctor, only to be attacked by diseased dogs that have turned feral. Esther is then mauled and subsequently killed, and Davidson flees to the cellar only to be slaughtered and presumably eaten by Francis, who Nathan had trapped in there. The cows start to rot as Nathan and Cyrus check diseased animals in the shed, discovering maggots and worms within. The cows erupt, engulfing Nathan as well as Cyrus in insects. Nathan and Cyrus have also been afflicted and are starting to go insane. Forbes enters the home intending to save Zack and Alice, but is startled and killed by Nathan, who subsequently blocks the doorway. Contrary to the film's credits, the producer Ovidio G. Asanitis told the press that Lucio Fulci wasn't his co-producer. He claims that Fulci was only in charge of the second unit. Wil Wheaton has previously stated that the only positive aspect of the film seemed to be that his sister Amy got a role in it. Cyrus assaults Alice, but Zack defends himself by fighting him off and hides his sister inside a cupboard.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get help. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
No, leave!
Nathan has cornered Zack and is intent on killing his stepson when Willis arrives and stabs him. The earth beneath the house starts to glow and heave, and the house begins to break apart. Zack finds his mother only in time to witness her deformed carcass melt into liquid. Cyrus confronts Zack as he prepares to depart, but Zack pushes him off the railing, presumably killing him. As he tries to stop Zack, Nathan is hit by a support column. Willis pulls Zack as well as Alice out of the house before it crumbles and kills everyone inside. Falling debris kills both Nathan and Cyrus. Willis exits the property, bringing Zack as well as Alice with him. A bandaged-up Willis sleeps in a hospital bed months later, having been affected less severely since he only drank a small amount of the farm's water. He's watching a news story on how officials are assuring that the agriculture plague from the farm would be eradicated. Later, in the neighbouring countryside at night, the earth and trees begin to quake and break apart, showing more of the bright alien liquid spreading across the surface. A vast quantity of the substance arrives, implying that the malevolent mutagenic organism is still alive and well, intending to finish its takeover of Earth. David Keith made his directorial debut with this film. Wil Wheaton has claimed that he didn't want to be part of this film. His family forced him to do it by showering him with cash and a free holiday to Rome. Originally, Treat Williams was also considered for a role in the film.
There's something out there. Mama? Get it out of me!
Why should you watch The Curse? Wil Wheaton and his sister are excellent performers, and those are the only movie characters most viewers care about. The mother figure is particularly scary since she evolves throughout the film. This particular type of horror was maybe influenced by director Lucio Fulci, but there are gory sequences here that rival Fulci's. Not the flesh-ripping kind of gore, but the let's see what terrible things we can do to food kind. The Curse is not a movie to be watching while you're eating. Director David Keith not only brilliantly captures a thick and stinky down-home, hillbilly environment, but he also expertly creates and maintains a frightening and unsettling tone. Keith also arranges a few shock props with flair and ability. An ambush by hostile hens and the famed worms in the apple scenario are particularly unpleasant and unforgettable. The over-the-top apocalyptic conclusion is also a lot of crazy fun. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.